All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome, everyone. My name is Nicole Hager. I'm the product marketing manager here at StructionSite. And today, our co-founder, Philip Lorenzo, will be going over our Navisworks plugin. So I will let him take it from here.
Thanks, Nicole. Hey, everyone. Thank you for attending our session today. So what we're going to be talking about is our new and improved plugin for Navisworks. The reason why we've pushed and created a Navisworks plugin is to be able to do a few things. Number one is to be able to quickly push out what the model looks like in a managed and catered experience to our web application and mobile application. So you can do workflows such as allowing the people on the remote to be able to access the job site, being able to have an X-ray mode overlay of the model onto the field, and also just having a plugin in general to help with the BIM coordination process. So I myself, I used to be a BIM coordinator, and if you're remote on the job site and you say you're managing multiple job sites in terms of the BIM coordination, just having a tool that allows you to quickly jump in and compare what's already installed or what the current condition is to what you're trying to coordinate with your various subcontractors, with the different trade partners. Just having a great sidekick to that was kind of the main, one of the big visions that we had for Navisworks plugin. So what we're going to be showing you is I'll be showing you workflows and how to align everything, and we'll go from there. And we definitely welcome questions that you should be able to post using the chat or Q&A functions. All right. So with that said, I'll go ahead and jump in, and I'll share my screen over here. Give me one moment. Okay, so what you see here is Navisworks, and we have our beautiful plugin right here on the top, StructionSite corner right here. And what you see here are a couple of windows that are specific to StructionSite. So you have a couple of features that allow you to, first of all, you want to align a drawing that has been uploaded to StructionSite and match it to the model, so that we have that, so you can correctly compare that reality to the model, and do that comparison and enable all these other workflows that I mentioned at the beginning. So to do that, you first have to you have to have a project on StructionSite. You have to have a drawing, and what you'll do is you'll align one drawing at a time, and you'll match different corners. So before you begin, what you'll do is you go ahead and go to alignment mode. If you've already aligned, I've already aligned this right here, but I'll just go ahead again just so I can demonstrate how quick and easy it is to self-serve yourself in terms of just quickly aligning a model to the drawing. So just log in with your StructionSite account, and what it'll do is it'll ask you to choose your project, choose your drawing, and this drawing could have been added from various sources like Procore, PlanGrid, BIM 360, Ignite Box, anything like that. So it'll using StructionSite's normal sync workflows. And once you do that, and once you pick the drawing, what you'll do is you want to match corners between the model and the drawing. So what I like to do is I like to pick one, like a top left corner first. And once you click on that, you go ahead and go into the model and pick the same corresponding corner. So if you do that, you can go and select the corner right here. It'll give you a little yellow box indicating where where this should match the drawing. And so we conveniently show you where that reference point. And if you want to be more exact, you can zoom in and kind of reselect the point. You repeat this for the next corner. And so yeah, I'll go ahead and do that real quick right here. And then after that, you select the floor. So a drawing, you have like level 1, a level 2, or whatever level. you want to make sure that you click on where that floor is, so that you get that matching, and that floor should match what you have, like the photos in which you took over here. So I'm going to go ahead and select the floor over here, and by default, what it'll do is when it tries to match the model to the video walk or some kind of photo that you've captured on the job site, we're assuming that you're holding your camera at a certain height. You can just estimate 6 feet, 7 feet, if you happen to be doing it maybe low, if you have some kind of robot that you mounted it on, or like you have it a lot higher, you can do that. It doesn't have to be exact, as long as it's within like a foot or two, because you can do some, you can kind of actually just lock the views and match it as you're doing that. So that's a pretty easy way to just match it, and then it'll remember the alignment once you do that. You'll have to repeat that for every level, because each level is going to have a different elevation in the model in which you need to match the view to. So, and there was a question that just came up. Does this work with Navisworks Manage? Yeah, this works with Manage or Simulate. It is not. It works with 2020, 2021, just all the major versions, at least back, I think 4 or 5 years, and it requires that you can't use it on Freedom, because Freedom doesn't allow for any plugin actually to be used. But if you have Manage or Simulate, you should be able to use it. Yeah, and there's another question. If a plan gets updated, which often happens, you don't have to realign it, as long as the updated drawing is also it doesn't suddenly move or it goes into a different position. Typically it stays the same. It's revisioned and everything is aligned where it's supposed to be. Then you can the PDF file can be replaced. So that's automatic. That's no problem. And if you've synced the drawing from like a cloud source where you typically slip sheet your drawings anyway, that gets automatically slip sheet and shown on the Navisworks plugin. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and cancel this alignment because I've already done it before. And so there's a couple of cool things that happen once you've aligned it. So first of all, what you're noticing right here is I'm actually able to navigate the model, and I have this special window right here which I can activate using this button called ViewSync. So this is, to me, this makes the Navisworks plugin with StructionSite really that sidekick to a BIM coordinator. So I'll first go over the ability to quickly sync and access photos within the plugin, and then I'll talk about how we can easily quickly batch export catered and managed views of the model. So what I'm showing you right here is, as I navigate the floor plan, the model, notice that it's actually tracking where I am live on a floor plan that's on StructionSite. When you're coordinating stuff, when you're in a meeting and you only have the model view, the question always comes up like, where am I? Especially if you're showing this if you're trying to navigate a model with people present on the team that they're like, the model kind of feels like you're in a video game, and it's hard to know like where you are, like what room is this, right? It doesn't say it anywhere. Everyone's used to looking at construction drawings and floor plans. So we allow you to quickly be like, oh yeah, it's in this room 135. Everyone's familiar with the drawings. So even before comparing to what's happening in reality, you're already going to be getting the value from this plugin. We've already been having some users that are they just have this open just in every BIM coordination meeting, just because it just makes that communication a lot simpler. But beyond that, you notice that on this drawing, wherever a video walk or a photo or a standard photo just taken from your phone has been captured, you'll be able to quickly open that up and view it within the plugin. The main benefit of that is to be able to compare reality against what looks like in the model. And the reason why you would do this is let's say, you have something that's, you're doing some kind of pre-construction coordination type stuff, and you want to, see what the existing conditions are. Another reason is you typically will have your for construction model. And as you know, there's always going to be changes. The owner might request some additional equipment be put somewhere. It's going to require, more MEP, maybe walls might change. And how you re-coordinate is going to depend on what's already installed, because you want to, probably minimize the cost. Depending on what kind of piping is already up there, or how do you do it in a way that reduces an impact, and reduces impact to the schedule. That's kind of what, why you'd want to just quickly compare this. So, this plugin is let's say you can make this available to all of your detailers who, for your trade partners that probably never visit the job site. For them to just quickly see what's going on, is definitely, could be a big deal, and it helps create more accurate, change order estimates, and ensuring that things get installed properly. Because so another thing, what happens is people will just install things in the field, and if it didn't conflict with anyone, then that's fine. Because like the main point of BIM coordination, 3D coordination, is you want to make sure to minimize conflicts. But what often happens is that they'll just move stuff. They don't update the model. They might redline it later, but it's not in the model. This could also be used to help streamline the BIM as built process, and it has been, people have used it for that already. So there's definitely a lot of promise there. Before I jump in to the other workflows, I'm going to look at the Q&As very quickly. Okay. Is this available now in the Autodesk App Store? So there's some questions about that, like how do I get access to this, any kind of pricing or costs, or if it's included. Please reach out to your account manager or customer success person. They'll answer these questions, and they'll also give you access to obtaining the plugin. And yeah, you should be able to get access to that, especially those who have been like kind of testing this out beforehand. I think we got something for you to look at, and this is ready to use immediately. Everything I'm showing you is pretty much how it is, and you can just kind of jump in there pretty quick. Oh yeah, and someone did add in. Oh yeah, thanks for some of the kind words here. So yeah, this recording will be available. And the key here is being able to get a non-BIM person to access the data. I'm going to jump into some of those workflows. So the ViewSync is really great for like if your role is BIM coordination, if you're Navisworks day in day out using it, that's this ViewSync is good. To get everyone else involved, maybe not everyone is going to have Navisworks probably, but actually, if someone is new to Navisworks, you can actually navigate around the model using this floor plan too that's on StructionSite. So actually, I think that this also helps with accessibility of being able to jump into the model. I know that I think maybe Navisworks has its own kind of plan view type of navigation. You have to align that, but StructionSite has that. You can use the actual drawing, and with the added benefit of quickly seeing the captures. We think it might be even better. So and just in terms of the controls, there's some small questions there. You can control these independently, and then if you hit lock, then it will sync the views. But no matter where you move in the model, and if you're using, say, like a 3D mouse, something like that, it'll track it automatically over here. Notice that the floor plan is only in 2D though, so it's it won't necessarily track your elevations. If you want to track a different level, then you'll have to go in and pull up a different level of like the model, which will have its own like alignment saved. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go to the other features. So one thing that we have right here is the ability to quickly add views. So I was saying at the beginning, if you want to be able to push out a catered experience, and actually before I even show you how to do this, let me show you what the end result will look like. So this is the web application that many of you know and love, and you can add in the model as 360 views that act as progress photos. So like, let's say this is like a future progress photo. This is what it will look like, kind of when it's done. You can tag it as a model shot so that you can quickly just isolate those. But to be able to just do that comparison is one thing that you'll be able to do. One caveat is that it is a photo, so it's not at the moment a live model. That's something that we have in roadmap. But this is a catered experience where, whatever you see in Navisworks, whatever layers you have at that point is what you'll get. So the benefit there is that you don't have to have the users go and mess and like figure out how to hide everything just to see exactly what it should be. Maybe the focus here is the MEP installation, and you just want to just show those elements, and you don't want to show the walls maybe at this point. Another benefit of the pushing these shots out as photos is, if you're familiar with our mobile application, you can do X-ray mode, where you can overlay the photos that were taken to the real world to like see through walls. Well, if you have the model instead, then you can do that X-ray overlay to compare what the model is going to look like in the field, kind of like a low cost type of augmented reality, so that is another option. We've seen some superintendents do that just to quickly verify where or maybe pipes are supposed to be. So to do that, there's two workflows. What this workflow right here is just adding the catered shots from scratch. So what you do is all you do is just click on where you want the 360 model imagery to be plotted onto. If you have maybe some exterior areas, or you're looking down some longer hallways, you can actually also export out standard views that just kind of go into one direction. Similar to when you're on StructionSite, you can quickly switch between like 360 photos, VideoWalks, and then you can switch to that you can just use your phone or iPad or Android camera and facing a direction. That you can do that as well. So that you can do side by side with pretty much any type of media. And once you do that, you can give it a tag, say these are just the model shots, what date this was coordinated, and then quickly push that out in bulk. One other cool thing to do, if this could provide any value, and it depends on how involved you want to get your non-BIM people in, say, even the coordination process. I know that when I was coordinating with trade partners with the model, we wanted to get like people's foremen, the superintendents. We wanted to get people involved and even have solving certain clashes, right? Because the people with more field experience can know like who should have a priority, or maybe the framework can just like work with this. You can actually import saved viewpoints from your saved viewpoints window in Navisworks. So if you go and actually, if you use Navisworks day in day out, and you actually, how you can go and save a viewpoint like this. Let's say there's a clash, and you can actually go and draw like a markup right over here. Please verify. So these are just your standard commenting commands, so which gets saved. So if you go back here, this comment actually shows up. You can actually import this with that exact comment that you see here show up in StructionSite. This is just another like option if you want to have a specific set of images that you want to share with non-BIM people. But so yeah, that's another option. And the main thing is that if you can leverage the tags here on StructionSite, for those who are not familiar, you can actually go and create a filter and just like filter for certain tags. So you can just filtering for the model, just filtering for some kind of like clash coordination meeting, and you can just send that out as a PDF, as a in an email, and then anyone can access it and you don't have to download any kind of software. You don't have to worry about doing gymnastics in the model. You can just look at a PDF, and what that'll do is allow them to access something like this. Everyone has a Bluebeam, right? Or even Adobe PDF, and to quickly jump into what the model looks like, without having to actually worry about navigating the model is another benefit of pushing out these catered experiences, whether it's the model itself or any kind of saved viewpoints you might have. So that's one option of quickly adding imagery. You can also batch add them to existing photos that you've taken. So right here, there's already been some photos taken right here. I can select, maybe there's a critical area with heavy MEP that I want to make sure to highlight and just have images pushed to. You can do that as well. And one last thing is, so, especially like when you're implementing StructionSite on projects, sometimes you might have, like, who's going to actually go and take the photos? If sometimes it gets put on the kind of the PE or maybe an intern, and they're going out and using StructionSite, and they're like, where do I capture stuff? We've seen some people actually use this as creating planned areas of capture. So what you can quickly do is, let's just call this, name this tag as planned. Let's say we want a person going to capture, a photo per room at a specific milestone date that you can put right here. Maybe this room over here has some more dense MEP that I want to make sure that we get multiple sides of, or maybe someone can do some more dense, some more VideoWalks in or whatever. But we've also definitely seen people do planned to capture with this. This tag, you can be very flexible with these tags. It can be planned. You can put someone's name on it. You can put like when something should be captured. When it comes to 360 photos, people will typically we've seen people take both VideoWalks and 360 photos, where the 360 photos, it gives you that much clearer, higher clarity imagery. It takes longer, but it's good for milestones. And then they'll do the VideoWalks for just progress capture. So this could be just for milestone photos and planning for that as well. So I'm going to go ahead and pause there, and I'm going to check out any kind of questions that are relevant to what I'm doing right now. So timeline for viewing the full model through the web app. We have that planned for sometime this year. I can't be. You'll have to confirm with your CSM, your customer success person, or account manager to get more details on that. But it's definitely in our roadmap for the year at some point. So another question is the time lapse function. How long of a time can we do? So there's a time lapse kind of function right here, and you can have unlimited amount of capture. Pretty much throughout the duration of the project. We've seen people have 50 or 100 of these, and they just pick a date. So that's just kind of the normal functionality of StructionSite. And when you're using the ViewSync, it'll all appear right here. You just pick the date, and then it'll jump into that relevant date of the photo, so that when you're comparing that model to reality, you're making sure that you're looking at the latest version. And one interesting thing that you can do, since the model shots are pushed as like progress photos, if you have different versions of a model, and you have your for release version, and then you have your next coordinated version of it that incorporates several change orders, to give people access to being able to compare different versions of the model, in that PDF export format or just on StructionSite is another added benefit of having that managed and catered view. And you can also easily manage that. So like we allow you to go in, if you don't want to have like an older version of the model, you can quickly remove that. Or you can have just multiple versions of it and then just be aware of that, or upload it, make sure that you have the correct date and tag associated with that. But we do allow you to very quickly manage your uploads in a way. You can like bulk delete it. You can just go and jump to it, see what that looks like. Let's see. So there's another one. Can you add model views to existing pins instruction site? Oh yeah, I did go through that. If you want to add add to existing pins, you use batch create right here, and you select the existing ones you want to add it to. By default, it'll just select everything, but you could just select a specific area, and that'll do that as well. And yeah, once it's on the web application, if you add comments and stuff, it does show up on there on the web app. Typically, what we have people do is they'll also use like the Procore plugin to create any kind of RFIs, observations, and you can go and select something here and then view that in StructionSite as well. It'll jump you to that. At the moment, we don't have those comments yet appearing inside the actual plugin. That is on our short-term roadmap. But in terms of what typical user behavior, we've seen that people like to use this plugin side by side with other plugins in Navisworks. So, let's say you have Procore or BIM 360, to be able to quickly like jump and you compare what the real world looks like, and just quickly jumping into creating an issue in that other platform. So it's something that we've seen people do that makes the StructionSite plugin very complementary to other plugins. Like I said, whether it's BIM 360 where you want to quickly create an issue, Procore, there's BIM Track. There's like lots of other options out there that have their own plugins. So one thing you can think about is you can see StructionSite as a great complement to your existing workflows, and that's our main. That's what we love to do is focus on what are you doing right now in terms of like how are you actually solving an issue at the end of the day. We could create some big workflows and have stuff tracking our system, but we know realistically like you already have existing systems that you use that you've invested a lot of time and energy in, that everyone uses, and we want to focus on like integrating with those a bit more. So we see this plugin as a great complement to that. That's what I'm trying to get at. So let's see, there is a couple of smaller things right here. So these windows are dockable. So this one you can see is actually docked, but you can also have it standalone as well. And you can have it be tabbed, or you can have my favorite thing to do is just to have it docked right here. And if you want to dock like both two screens up and down, this is actually one of my favorite arrangements right here. So definitely, people definitely would find this useful. Let's see. So universal login via Procore. Yeah, our current app does have that, and that's coming pretty soon in this version as well. See, I'm looking through the other. Okay, other questions here. Okay, so I pretty much showed most of the workflows already. We have some upcoming ones that are going to be really exciting and interesting for those who want to test us out. Please be in contact with your customer success manager, account manager to get access to this. I really appreciate everyone who has spent the time giving feedback on the workflows here, and hope you find benefit to it. There are a few other things to take into account. So as you're using this, like I said, whatever you see in the model is what will be exported if you're pushing views out. So just take that into account. If you make a mistake, then you can easily just go into the manage function and like remove that and then re-upload it. but like I said, it's really easy and quick to do. Typically, it doesn't take more than a few seconds per photo to upload, and the alignment is very quick. And for those of you kind of concerned about any potential security issues, the model, it just gets uploaded as standard photos, in a secure connection to our app. The model is never sent to any servers. It's not uploaded anywhere. It's only on your computer, and all it's doing is sending photos up to the as photos up to the cloud. So that's just something to take into account. So yeah, with that said, I've gone over all the functionality here, the alignment, ViewSync, adding photos, and now I'm going to open it up and focus the next the remaining time of this webinar on questions. So I'm going to go ahead and read through some of this. So yeah, the adding notes and comments, they will show on the web app. It is not yet available in the plugin at this point, but that's something that we hope to have in the near future. And so next one, the StructionSite web app create a 3D mesh point cloud from 360 photos. No, that's not something that we do at this time. The StructionSite export your photos as viewpoints to Navisworks. So to compare so we're not like putting viewpoints into Navisworks. So that you can like view it in Navisworks as viewpoints. We have this special window with ViewSync, and that's how you go and view the photos, because your viewpoints in Navisworks are meant to just save 3D views. So that's it's kind of like a whole different thing. So yeah, that's why we have a separate window for that. So Lucas, hey, Lucas was actually one of the very first people to try this out, and it's like very early stage. So thanks, Lucas, for the question. So the lighting appearance. So yeah, there is something to take into account here. So sometimes when you're pushing, or oftentimes when you're pushing out the 360 versions of the model as photos, you get sort of a let me show you what I'm talking about here. You do get a little bit like a box effect because of the lighting. So like this is a continuous pipe, but then you do kind of see a little bit of a box effect. The reason for this is that when you're navigating within Navisworks, the lighting actually changes as you look around. So we'll go and generate 360 photos we take a picture of like 6 sides right here, and like it gets stitched into a single 360 rectangular type of photo. Which is how it's able to exist as a 360 photo in StructionSite. But when you do this, like the lighting changes a little bit. You could play around with the lighting settings. You can do, let's see, say like no lights is one way of doing it. If you do this, and the lighting does look more consistent, but then it does look a little bit more faded out. So we have found that like after people get like this is we've seen people prefer this the way that this looks a little bit better, and we found that people just kind of get used to it after just initially seeing it. When we do launch our live viewer version, you're not going to have that issue, but it is something that might throw some people off at first, because of the photo nature of that. So that's just something to take into account. Someone asked, can you create a link with the floor PDF and picture on it and send it to someone? Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, one of the big core workflows here is if you push out the model shots, and let's say you just want to send them a PDF and it just has the model shots and you want to utilize StructionSite's awesome PDF export functionality that allows you to view a PDF as if you're using StructionSite within Bluebeam or in email or Adobe Reader. You could export a PDF and then share it that way, and then they can if they click on any pin in this PDF, I'm in a PDF viewer right now called Bluebeam. Click on that, it'll open up the model shot. And if you have any comments, it should show that as well if you import it as save viewpoints. You can also go and just quickly share this, any kind of like single imagery as well. So if you kind of go back, you want to share like a model right here, you just go and click share and then copy that clipboard. You can just email that to someone. That's another thing to do. And if you share that, they'll be able to also do that kind of comparison to the real world as well. So we conveniently allow you to do that. Are there plans to integrate with the model viewer within Procore? We do have plans to integrate with Procore's model viewer, but kind of more on the reverse direction. So actually right now, we already integrate with Procore. Like StructionSite can live as an actual app within Procore, and we're also looking to incorporate the model viewer in StructionSite. The workflow there is that you start with the photo because you don't have, you can go anywhere in the model, but you can't necessarily go everywhere with photos and VideoWalks because it really depends on where you've captured stuff. So once you start from there, then we'll allow you to jump into the model. Yeah, so someone asking, can you show me the version where the model is on the right side? So yeah, this is what it would look like right over here. You can change which side it's shown on. And what you do is once you've created a match, then yeah, you can match them. Again, in the future, we'll add some like auto locking functionality, but we allow you to kind of play around with alignment because sometimes the photo maybe wasn't taken exactly at a certain spot. So you'll want to play around with how you align stuff before you lock it. So yeah, and someone asked if you have a model, if your model is separated out by floor, then you can you align a version of the model as a per drawing. If you have multiple drawings that you want to align to the exact same model, you'll have to go into the alignment flow like each time and specify that so that you have you do have to realign the model every time you have a different drawing. At the moment, we're working on a more streamlined version of managing that, but right now you have to manually align each floor at a time for each model. So someone's asking again, when can we have like kind of the live version of the model so you can navigate around the model? That's planned for at some point this year. If you want a more exact timeline, contact your account manager or CSM, and they'll give you some more details on that. The model image there's a model image when it gets pushed to StructionSite. Does it get a tag automatically? Yes, it does if you specify it over here when you're pushing out a version of the model, that you can give it a tag right here and it's automatically applied to everything that you're adding, so that you can go and quickly filter by tag on the web app or mobile app. So that's the way that you do it. And this, the word model is automatically filled in. You can have it empty and not give it a tag for some reason, but it's pretty much like automatically added to it. So you don't have to go and like manually add it to each one. Is there a Bluebeam StructionSite plugin? We don't have a plugin directly in Bluebeam. Our integrations with Bluebeam is being able to pull in stuff from Studio, and then there's also the and then we essentially work. It's not a plugin within Bluebeam. We just straight up kind of work within Bluebeam, like actually like in Bluebeam, kind of like in Procore. So like right what you see right here, this is Bluebeam. You can see it says review up here. And this was actually like one of our very first features at StructionSite. And like, you know, we were at Bluebeam conferences when they still had that. And these were kind of some of the sessions that we had where, you know, all the people that just work within Bluebeam, they love Bluebeam. You know, all you got to do is just export StructionSite to the PDF format, then it all works in Bluebeam. And even the viewer, the 360 viewer of it works within Bluebeam. So that's how we work within Bluebeam. If the PDF is locked, not scaled, and use a password, is it still usable or aligned? So if it's in its PDF format, you know, I guess some people could lock the PDF. Like it's all functional as long as the PDF is unlocked. And by default, StructionSite creates the PDF itself, and it's unlocked already. But yeah, once you unlock it, doesn't mess with anything. Yeah, so there's that. There was another question about Bluebeams, which I just went over. So can the team roles be created to give access permissions to the plugin? So at the moment, you actually need to have a role that allows you to add imagery to StructionSite in the first place. So right now, you have to either be an admin or a collaborator to even push anything to StructionSite, like to even capture stuff. If you're view only, then you can't do that. So if you're an admin or collaborator, you should be able to use the StructionSite plugin. And if you have any kind of feedback on that, which we're very open to feedback, then let your CSM know, and then we can go from there. The ability to flag discrepancies between the model and the photos. Yeah, that is something that people will primarily use the ViewSync for, because I mean you can push out the photos of the model to the web application, and then people can add notes. But we do find that it's convenient to use the ViewSync to flag discrepancies between the model and the real world, because at the end of the day, it's up to the detailers and then the BIM coordinator to resolve those discrepancies, right? It all happens in Navisworks. They'll save the viewpoints, they'll share that. And to be able to just, when you compare and you see the discrepancy, to just go like this, boom, I'm gonna save this, I'm assigning this to someone, and then to share that. We found that that's in practice, that's how things get resolved most often. And so we'd like to stick with that as well. We do have some interesting workflows that we're exploring, such as, you know, if you do a measurement, you know, you want to see some, you know, you want to compare some additional discrepancies, will allow you to do things such as do an X-ray overlay. So this is kind of a beta feature that we have that allows you to go and, let's say if you want to kind of align the real world in a certain way and change the opacity. You know, that's something that will allow you to do, and you can even export this as a screenshot. This is coming up actually very soon. That'll like help with the, even more, have more ways to like compare discrepancies and like detect them. That's something that we have upcoming as well. So that's a great question, and that's definitely the direction that we're going. Like we want to try to help you understand not just, you know, what got installed, but it's like, was it done right? That's really the main question that this plugin is helping to answer. Does the plugin work with NWF and NWD files? Yes. You know, it works with Navisworks, so whatever Navisworks, I mean, Navisworks can technically support almost every file format. That was the main benefit of Navisworks. You know, Revit, DWGs, yeah, everything goes in Navisworks. So yes, definitely NWDs and NWFs. Let's see, some of these questions I did kind of answer already. To get this StructionSite activated, you'll have to get a download link for an installer, and you'll need to request that download link from your CSM or AE. And yeah, and the app does show this view, which I have right here. Ryan's asking about that. So someone's questioning about, like, is the VideoWalk better at establishing locations or photos? So if you're using the ViewSync primarily, where you just want to compare the view of the web, like of what was captured using VideoWalks, ViewSync is the best workflow for that. If you want to push out the catered views, what we support for that is just the standard 360 photos at the moment. It's because there's, you know, the VideoWalks have like a lot of nodes, and we don't want to push that, you know, compared against them all against the VideoWalk until we have that live viewer version. So at the moment we're focusing this plugin on the milestones and kind of like the, you know, having a photo per room. And if you want to use VideoWalks to compare, you primarily would do that through the ViewSync workflow that we have right here. Yeah. So yeah, it looks like 39 questions have been answered.
Philip, there's a few questions in the chat as well. I know there's a lot of them in there, and you probably won't be able to get to all of them, but maybe you can take a look at some of them in the next few minutes, or it is easier for, I think, Philip to use the Q&A function. So if anyone has any additional questions in the next few minutes, if you want to pop a question in there, and we'll answer as many as we can in the next few minutes.
Yeah, so I'm looking through the chat a little bit. So with regards to the BIMtrack, so BIMtrack has its own plugin for Navisworks. We highly encourage switching between the tabs. You know, if you have the BIMtrack plugin, what you'll do is you'll use StructionSite to go and like look around. You'll track where you're looking at. You're going in StructionSite. You see the photo or VideoWalk from what you've captured, and then once you see the discrepancy or you need to change something, you go ahead and switch to BIMtrack and save the viewpoint and create the issue, and then follow that through. So we see this as kind of like a 1-2 punch with like a really great complement, a sidekick to the other plugins that you might have. And BIMtrack is definitely, you know, included in that, or BIM 360 or Procore, whatever you're using to track your issues, if you're not just using like standard viewpoints. Let's see here. Yeah, I think all the questions are kind of, they overlap with what I've talked about. I'll look at a couple more right over here. Let's see here. Is there a way to identify photos that have been taken since the last model upload and only view upload the new viewpoints? So yeah, the way that you would do that is, so first of all, you can see when exactly you've uploaded model shots using this manage feature over here. So you'll see the exact upload date and then the tag you gave it to, including the project and drawing, and how many photos. So this is definitely a useful way of managing that. And if there's a version of it that you don't want to have there, you can go and just quickly go and bulk remove it, and it'll go and just like automatically like remove everything. And you can go ahead and again and add everything. So there's definitely a pretty easy way to track the different versions of it, and you could just upload yeah, just in certain areas, so you can be kind of pretty selective. Jason asked, do you have to change your light settings to all lights? No, it should remember your settings. I'd say depending on your model and like the way it might look, we have found some people get better results with full lights, but some models get very washed out, and then we've seen like headlights look a lot better. So, it's definitely based on your preference there. Someone's asking, what do the continuous orange dots on the bottom right window represent? That represents a video walk. So when you do a video walk on StructionSite, you're just recording with video and you're not stopping. And so you're continuously walking around. And they're connected by these lines. So that's what those are. That's just a different type of media that StructionSite supports. It's one of the 3 media that we support. The VideoWalks standard photos, which is these represented by these blue lines, blue arrows. Because if you're taking a photo, which is your mobile device, it has to be a certain direction. And then your standard, you stop and take a 360 photo, which is these orange pin drops. For those of you who are not already familiar with StructionSite. Let's see, so our experience with the field side of this, the field site using the platform to review images from Navisworks, because it seems like it would be a great tool for those not experienced working in 3D models. Yeah, we've had actually, that's one big use case that we've been seeing, and if you're a BIM coordinator, BIM manager, BIM engineer, and I can attest to this from personal experience. Like the more you can get the non-BIM people involved, the better. If they have access to the 3D model, that's great. But even I've seen people that do that and they still they don't want to download the app or whatever. But if you're able to just push out StructionSite, and what I do know is that a lot of non-technical people or the more field people, they use StructionSite pretty heavily. Being able to just access the model from there has gone over pretty well. So we've definitely seen some good success from field teams using this, especially if they're not experienced navigating 3D models. Because having a full like live navigatable model, if you're like experienced in that, that's great. But then sometimes people just want to just see the view, and just having that catered view for most people is just perfect. So yeah, we've definitely seen success there. Yeah, I think that's most of the relevant questions. Really appreciate everyone's time. Expect a lot more updates to this plugin, and please give your feedback. We're very hungry for feedback and want to take this to a level where the plugin can be a great sidekick for your BIM coordination process, for your as-builting, just for general coordination, and to get the rest of your project team more involved with the model. So with that said, thank you everyone for your time, and please reach out to your CSM or account managers to get access.
Yes, thank you everyone for attending, and look forward to a recording coming soon with this for everyone that attended. So have a great afternoon. Thanks.